Before we go on, let's take some time and look at the court's explanation of qualified immunity. Qualified immunity shields officials when their conduct does not violate clearly established statutory or constitutional rights of which a reasonable person would have known. This is based on White versus Pauley. The court has decided that government officers have some level of immunity from civil lawsuits. The qualification for such immunity is that their conduct does not violate clearly established rights protected by the constitutional laws of the United States. The problem we run into is who establishes what a reasonable person should know. The Supreme Court has instructed that qualified immunity balances two important interests: the need to hold public officials accountable when they exercise power irresponsibly, and the need to shield officers from harassment, distraction, and liability when they perform their duties reasonably. This is based on Vega versus Semple. Notice, it's not the Constitution or a law passed by Congress, but the Supreme Court that simply made up this qualified immunity because they thought it was necessary. It's an important principle of our legal system that law enforcement officers must have the necessary discretion to perform their required duties. The principle must be balanced, however, with a core tenet enshrined in the Fourth Amendment, the right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. Thus, it has long been the essential purpose of the prescription in the Fourth Amendment to impose a standard of reasonableness upon the exercise of discretion by law enforcement agents in order to safeguard the privacy and security of individuals against arbitrary invasions. This from Delaware versus Bruce. In other words, the actions of a law enforcement officer when conducting a search or seizure must be reasonable. Now, based on my research, the law defines reasonableness as what a reasonable person would find reasonable. See, I was taught you do not define a word by itself. Then again, I'm not a lawyer, thank God.